Land back, everybody. Whoop, whoop. We are at our 56th Black Hammer Tuesday rally. We are so excited for this one, y'all. This one's going to be unlike any other. Okay, so I just want to welcome everybody here tonight. For all you new folks, you are in for a treat. Okay, I am Chief Through, your Chief of Culture. I rep the nations of Africa and the Philippines. My pronouns are they, them, and I will be your host this evening. Our theme for tonight is revolutionary consent. Okay, and like I said, this isn't your typical rally. Okay, we are going to be doing a workshop because we understand as colonized people, we don't know what true consent is. So this workshop is going to be all about destroying all colonial communication. So get your paper and your pen, okay? Because we are going to get into something really special. But before we get into that, okay, it is really important that we go over who we are. Who is Black Hammer? What are we about? Okay, if this is your first time here, we are about to get into it. So, like I said, you are at the Black Hammers Organization's Weekly Tuesday rally. And the Black Hammer Organization is the biggest, the baddest anti-colonial revolutionary organization in the game. We are an organization made up of poor and working class colonized people united under 4 principles of unity. Principle of unity number 1. We believe the colonized proletariat should have dictatorship, that's control, over our lives, our labor, our land, and our resources. Principle of unity number 2. We believe all colonized proletariat are equal, no matter gender, sexuality, age, skin tone, body type, location, religion, language, mental or physical differences, and or bi/multiracial identity. All right, number 3. We believe all the problems the colonized face are from colonialism and the submissive neocolonialists that are within our colonized nations. And principle of unity number 4, we believe that the colonized proletariat is the only true proletariat. Only through our leadership can white power, capitalism, colonialism, imperialism, and all of its symptomatic offspring be smashed. Ooh. And if you are wondering who our leadership is of the organization that upholds these principles of unity, we have our Commander-in-Chief, Gazi Kodzo, our Secretary General, Anko, and our Minister of Defense, Sundiata. All right, y'all. So now that we know what our principles of unity are and what our organization is about, enjoy tonight's rally, comrades, and welcome to the revolution. So, and before we get into this workshop, we always got to make sure that we are being safe, okay, and prioritizing that. So I have our Minister of Defense, Sundiata, here, who's going to let us know about a really important defense tip. Land back.
Land back, and thank you, Chief Through, for the introduction. My name is Sundiata, and yes, I'm the Minister of Defense for the Black Hammer Organization. And I represent the nations of Africa as well as Turtle Island, and I use he, him, his pronouns. And before we get into this amazing, powerful workshop rally, I want to remind everyone watching that if you see any suspicious activity at all, let your chapter defender know immediately. We do not tolerate adventurism at the Black Hammer Organization, and we must be constantly aware of any suspicious actions that can endanger you, your comrades, and our mission. And when you speak on this Tuesday rally like I'm doing right now, live on YouTube, it's going to be assumed by those viewing the live that you speak for the entire organization. So I and us, we ask for you to refrain from using any language that may be divisive, that may be adventurous, or that disunites with our stated political line and principles of unity. I'd also like to ask you to please make sure you're not using your legal name in the Zoom or disclosing your location at all or at any time during the rally for your own security and privacy. Now this week, I'm here to remind you of the measures that each of us need to take in order to ensure that we are safe and secure during the current and ongoing dangers presented by the colonial climate crisis. Now, in northern Turtle Island, the West Coast is experiencing record high temperatures. It's damaging infrastructure, starting devastating fires, and killing colonized people. Black Hammer and its defense apparatus have outlined exactly what you all need to know and be equipped with in order to survive this climate disaster and protect and prepare our people for their survival. We must ensure that our homes are conducive to our safety. We have to ensure that we are prepared with our bug-out bags in case we have to travel unexpectedly. and we have to make sure that we connect with our chapter defenders to tap in to the BHO defense apparatus and its strength. Now, if you have any questions or concerns about the Defense Office or anything you'd like to make known to us, please inform your chapter defender or reach out to us at bhodefense@protonmail.com. And if you'd like to support what we do, the work we do with our training and organizing of defenders, self-defense classes and workouts, and even our anti-colonial mental health care, you can donate at on Cash App at hashtag BHDefenders. As always, I want you all to continue to go the distance this week and every day to ensure that you are learning how to defend yourselves and your comrades better, more efficiently every day. So let's get into this amazing rally. Hope y'all enjoy it. Land back.
Land back. Thank you so much, Minister Sundiata, for always keeping us safe. Super appreciate it. Salute to the entire defense team as well. All right, y'all. So now that we are safe with our defense, it's time that we get the word out to the people, okay? We secure it, and then we move. And how are we gonna do that? Chief Frederico, Chief of Social Media, is gonna let us know how to do that. All right, so get your phones out. It's time to share. Land back.
Land back, everybody. Yeah, I'm Chief Frederico, Chief of Social Media. I represent the colonized nation of Boriken, and I use he, they pronouns. And as y'all know, there are over 3 billion people on the internet, most of them our people, and we're here to reach all of them, right? So I'm coming to you with an urgent announcement today to share this rally. Get on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are, make sure to be sharing this rally. We're going to be discussing revolutionary consent, which is such an important topic for us as colonized peoples who have been robbed of this dictatorship over our lives, right? So being colonized, we don't really know what consent is, but we're going to learn that today. So we need to share that information to our people. And if you share this rally more than 75 times, you'll win this incredible shirt. Shout out to our visual propaganda team that creates these beautiful revolutionary designs for us. It's a beautiful shirt. I know I want it. So share this rally. And then if you don't follow us already on social media, make sure to follow us. We always are on top of what's trending, what's in the news, and we give the unabashed truth each and every day. And we know these algorithms work to continuously silence us and suppress the truth about us and what we're fighting against, right? They work to hide, delete, and ban any and all anti-colonial revolutionary thought. So when you follow, you're actively helping us to continue reaching our people and pushing forward this revolution. You know, we're silenced on the colony as individuals, but with the collective here and us using social media to reach our people, we can change that and smash this colonial machine. So make sure to follow us. And then, you know, if you want to be messy with us and you want to create incredible revolutionary content for our people, join our social media team today. And if you have any interest in using social media for the revolution, just hit me up. I'll be here this entire rally. So feel free to just shoot me a message. Land back and enjoy the rally.
Land back. Thank you so much, Chief Frederico. Yes, it's super vital that we are following us on Instagram, on Twitter, on all of our social media platforms. They cannot silence this revolutionary thought, this revolutionary movement, okay? So go ahead and follow right now and go ahead and join social media again if you want to be messy online, but help your people at the same time. All right, y'all. So if you follow us on social media, I'm sure that you see that we got all these events and shows that be coming up during the week. Okay, I know you be seeing them, but just in case you missed anything, let's go ahead and go into what we got going on for the week. So starting off with this Friday, all right, we have another episode of Hard Targets. So Hard Targets is put on by our Black Hammer Times baddies, our BHT baddies, okay? So it's going to be, you know, the Black Hammer Times is our number one anti-colonial news source of the world. And we got a show, okay? Think of it as better than any of the other news sources that you will watch online because we actually tell the truth, okay? As it says, the empire strikes hard, but we strike harder. You can catch this every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and Facebook. So be in them comments, okay? And on Sunday, we have the revolutionary, or should I say the revolutionary book trap every Monday at 11 a.m. Oops, did I say Monday? I meant Sunday, self-critical. Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are reading Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, and guiding us through this journey is Sergeant Bear. and Chief Oju. And they are fabulous in breaking it down for the people, okay? We are going to be reading chapters 4 through 6. So again, this is mandatory for all Black Hammer members, all of our hammers in the building. Again, that's 11 a.m. Go ahead and fix yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and get this political education and come with them. Hashtag read that Bex. All right, coming up on Monday. Like I said, we have something almost every day, y'all. So the next day at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we have the Oh My Ghazi Show. This show is the most messy, but the most thought-provoking and inspiring show because we go over, or should I say, CIC, Commander-in-Chief Ghazi Kodzo, our revolutionary queen, goes over all of the news from all over the world, and we break it down for the people, okay? We talk about all these losers that are out here thinking they're doing something or that are really messing up the world and, showing them the way that, we can actually move revolution, which is joining the Black Hammer organization. All right. And coming up on Thursday, y'all don't want to miss this. A lot of y'all, this is some brand new info. Okay, we got a new brand new show called Critical Mass put on by our SciTech team. And when I say SciTech team, I mean our International Chief of SciTech, Chief Sa, and our International Chief of Science and Technology, Chief Felix. And so this is going to be premiering on Thursday, July 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. So I better be seeing y'all there. They're gonna be talking about live, they're gonna talk about science news. They're gonna be talking about all the, mysteries that you be researching about online. All right, and if y'all want to be a part of creating this new revolutionary culture, if you like producing, if you like putting on events, if you like creating graphics and things like that, join the culture department. We are completely shaping how we all interact with each other and how we all celebrate life and how we all, fight for our own people and for our self-determination. So come on, you can join us at bhoculturedept@protonmail.com. All right, and if you's here and if you represent and you are, a Swatine, you can go ahead and join our reparations corps. It is an 8-week program where we'll teach you how to be human again. And you can do that by going to blackhammer.org/reparations and join Black Hammer today if you colonize. Oop, there you go. You see that little saltine right there? Cutest little saltine you done ever seen. Happiest little saltine you done ever seen, right? With that little bit of green right next to him. Yeah, we need you. All right. And like I said, if you colonize, join Black Hammer today. All right, y'all. And so another thing that we got going on, right? See, we got all these events and shows. We also have a major project that we're doing, which is called Build Hammer City, okay? It's going to be a place where all poor and working class people can come and live in harmony with the earth, right? It's gonna have no cops, no rent, no coronavirus, and no white people. But who's going to tell you more of this? It's going to be our Chief of Economic Development, Chief Scene, because we gotta raise funds, okay? Before we get there, we gotta raise some funds. So I'm gonna pass it off to Chief Scene. Land back.
Land back, everyone. Thank you so much, Chief Fu, for that introduction. Like Chief Fu said, my name is Chief Scene. I represent the nation of China and I use she, they pronouns, and I am the Chief of Economic Development for the Black Hammer organization. And I'm super excited to be here today to talk to y'all about Hammer City. Like Chief Fu said, Hammer City is a city that Black Hammer is building for colonized people only. There will be no rent, no coronavirus, no cops, and no white people. And we are building this city so that we as colonized people can win back our dictatorship, right? Our self-determination, our ability to determine what our lives, our future, our land, our labor, our resources is going to look like. This is also the only place, as it connects to today's theme, where we as colonized people can figure out what consent means to us, right? Like colonialism has stripped our ability to make decisions about our body, our lives. And the only way to kind of regain that power is by building our own dual contending power in Hammer City. And this is a place where we can have our children grow up and not know a world where, like, having their consent violated would look like. So this is a beautiful project that we are building. And in order to build it, we need resources. Today's goal is $1,400. Right now, there's around 130 of us in here. So it's only like $11 per person. And if you have more than $11, please donate that. If you do not have, if you have less than $11, that's okay. Donate whatever that you have with you right now. If you are waiting for, payday like on Friday or next week, that's okay. You can pledge. You can pledge, be like, I will donate, $10 when I get paid, on the 5th. Or if you, don't have a job, that's okay. We're fun employed. That is cool too. But what you can do instead is share, right? Or ask someone you might know in your life who will be able to donate, someone who believes in this project. And yes, you can donate on Cash App, Build Hammer City, Venmo, Build Hammer City, and buildhammercity.org right there, right on the screen. It's all Build Hammer City, super easy to remember. So start dropping those donations in the chat or in the YouTube comments, and I will read them out. And this is also just a really special week for us as well. On July 4th, this weekend, this colonial holiday. But guess what happened last July 4th is when we first announced this project of Hammer City. So we're almost at 1 year of this beautiful, amazing project of the future. So I would love for us to show out today and meet this goal. And also, if you go on our website right now, you will notice that our total right now is at $88,400 and something dollars. That means if we reach our goal tonight and surpass it just a little by like $100 and something dollars, we will be at $90,000. And that's where I'm trying to get today. So I believe we can do it because we have done it before. Okay, these are piling up, so I'll start reading them. First, we have Reset from the Reparation Corps donating $50 on YouTube. Thank you so much, Reset. We got Chief I with $15. Executive is paying $50 in reparation as well. Thank you so much. Chief Amalicha got $5 on it. Yes, if you don't got 11, you can donate 5, you can donate 2, you can donate $1. Totally fine with me. And Nigel got 15 on it. Thank you so much. Precipice got 20 in reparation, $5 from the Missouri chapter. Thank you so much. And Alma donating 5 on the YouTube comment. Parthenon got $100 in reparations. Thank you so much. Ooh, you hear that? That's my phone going off. I'm gonna turn that off. Y'all don't need to hear that cha-ching noise. But Huey got 5 on it. Comrade A got 100 in reparations. Yes, Coach K. Every donation is a brick to build Hammer City. Yes. And Sarcophagus got 40 in reparation. The Zinc got 20 in reparation. Chief Oju got 25. Airplane got 60 in reparation. Come through, Reparation Corps. Y'all all here today. Nenufar got 15 on it. Chief Churro got 5. Chief Eno got 30 on Friday when she gets paid. Thank you. The People's Artist got 15 on Thursday. Thank you so much, the People's Artist. We got another 10 in the YouTube comment. We got Deity Dukes, got 15 on it. Thank you so much. Yellow Scarf got 25 on YouTube. Chief Frederico got 5. Comrade Shukshi, did I pronounce that right? 20. Thank you so much. Comrade Dre got 8. Coach K got 25. Thank you so much. Like Chief Jucha said, you can pledge like the comrades have done before. If you don't got it now, that's totally fine. You might have it in 2 weeks, in a month. You can pledge then. My office will definitely follow up with you. Chief Sante got 15. CIC got 24 in the comment. Thank you so much, Chief Sante and CIC. Appreciate it. I myself will donate. I can donate 30 by next Friday. So where's the rest of the comments? Y'all got it. We can wait. You can donate the money that you're gonna spend, on DoorDash, on Starbucks, on whatever. I will hunt you down respectfully for those pledges. 25 from Chief Spark on Thursday. Thank you so much, Chief Spark. I'll definitely follow up with you on that. 5 from Comrade. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm so sorry. 5 on Saturday. I'm so sorry. I don't want to butcher it. And in the YouTube comments, City Builder Beep got 15 on it. Cannot swear on live. And we got 11 from Grouther. Thank you. Did I pronounce that right? $11 from Chief Study. Thank you so much. Chief Novi got 15 tomorrow. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I cannot pronounce these names. Aaliyah? Is that correct? 20 on Friday. Charlie Brown got 10 on payday on the 5th. Thank you so much. Mama Bear got 10. Thank you so much, Mama Bear. And we got 15 on Friday from Comrade Petunia. Thank you. $40 in reparation from Colonizer from Chief Yabe. Thank you so much. Pixie Dust got $1. Yes, thank you. Pixie Dust. I'll take your dollar. I'll take y'all's 50 cents. You know, save it up. I'll take it. Camarada got 20 on it. Thank you so much. Yes, every single dollar that we got is a brick that we're building a home for our people, for our future. It is a worthwhile cause, and it'll be a place where we can have control over our lives. And as colonized people, where else can you have that on the colony? Nowhere else. That's why we have to build our own future, and that's why we fight so hard every single day in this organization to make it a dream come true. And you can be a part of that. $4 from Chief Solomar. How many bricks that is? Probably like 400. We're like 400 bricks. Thank you so much. I would like if we can get like 5 more donations before we move on to our next segment. Just 5 more. So if anyone, yes, $10 from Jay and Osama on Friday. Thank you so much. Anyone got some spare cash lying around? Do you have like balance on your Venmo and Cash App from when like someone paid you for lunch and you just like never used it and it's just sitting there? You can Venmo it to us. You can Venmo it to your liberation. You got an extra dollar laying around somewhere, dig it up. You know, you got coins that you were like trying to save up for laundry, but your laundry machine only takes quarters. You got like a bunch of dimes and it counts up to $1. I'll take that. Comrade Soul got 10 on it. Oh, Comrade Grouther will pledge another 5 next week. Sharebear got $10, $20 from Chief Addie. Thank you so much. Rena got 15 and 10 more from Chief Oju. Yes, so we reach our goal. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for hanging around with me. Thank you every single person who's donated today. And if you were not able to donate, that's okay. You shared, and that's what matters. You're spreading the word of revolution to colonize people all around the world. If you would like to join economic development and be in my committee, if you're interested in fundraising and accounting and any cryptocurrency, stocks, whatever, you thought that your dream was to get rich and like for yourself, but guess what? Now you can get rich for the people. You can fund the revolution. So join my committee. You can email me at bhoeconomicdevelopment@protonmail.com, or you could message me here on the Zoom. Land back, everyone. Let's get into this workshop.
Land back. Oh my goodness, $1,400 just like that. That's amazing. Salute Chief Scene. Salute to everybody that donated and pledged, because I know Chief Scene is going to be calling you up, looking for them donations that you said he was going to pay. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be in Hammer City real soon. I can feel it. So, again, and also shout out to our comrades at the Reparations Corps for them reparations. All right. So, y'all, it is time. Who is ready for this workshop, y'all? Put #ready in the YouTube comments. If you got your pen and paper, I got mine right here because we're about to get into it. And leading this beautiful workshop for all of us is our one and only Secretary General Anko. So let's get into it. Land back.
Land back, everyone. Welcome to Black Hammer's Tuesday rally. We're switching things up a little bit. Usually, I use this portion of time to talk about the state of rebellion, so where rebellion is at around the world. But I think it's important for us to pull it in and see where we as an organization are at. And I said at last rally, I was going to have a workshop for y'all, and this discussion about consent is not done. It will never be done. Learning about consent and understanding it is a continual and ongoing thing. And as revolutionaries, we have to make an important distinction, y'all. We got to understand there's liberal consent that we learn from the colony, but I'm going to teach y'all revolutionary consent. And there's a difference. Is liberal consent and liberalism as a whole centers the individual. Everything is about one person, you. You are the center of the universe within liberalism. And it makes sense because liberalism came from the Enlightenment period in medieval Europe, from a whole bunch of dusty, crusty white men who could only think about themselves. They saw no need in understanding anything else. And so even though a lot of us have been introduced to the concept of consent already, we got to make it revolutionary because we are revolutionaries here. And so please take out some pen and paper and write this down. There's going to be a lot of self-reflection within this workshop. And for some, it might be difficult, especially for those comrades and people out there who are watching who have experienced abuse before. And so it's going to be important to write down what you are thinking, what you are feeling, because that is part of understanding consent as a whole. It starts with you as well. But just like everything, we're going to hop right into some this agenda to make sure that we're on task. So today we got first and foremost political education. First is going to be on liberalism by Chairman Mao. And the next is Maintain Your Character Policy, beautifully written by our very own Chief Ade. And after that, we'll be discussing self-consent and reflecting on what it means to consent to yourself. As well as after that, we'll be discussing sexual consent and reflect on that. And then we'll close it up with a summary and a way forward with our Minister of Defense. Okay, go ahead to the next slide, please. So first, let's just go ahead and dive into this political education. We will be taking comments at the very end on this political education, but I just want to put this in context. On Liberalism is a very famous and important text for all revolutionaries to read. But for today, I want y'all to contextualize On Liberalism in a sense of self, in a sense of consent, how this applies even in those instances. So here we go. So On Liberalism by Chairman Mao. We stand for active ideological struggle because it is the weapon for ensuring unity within the party and the revolutionary organizations in the interests of our fight. Every communist and revolutionary should take up this weapon. But liberalism rejects ideological struggle and stands for unprincipled peace, thus giving rise to a decadent Philistine attitude and bringing about political degeneration in certain units and individuals in the party and the revolutionary organizations. Liberalism manifests itself in various ways. It's not just a political theory in a grand scale of privatizing things. Liberalism manifests to let things slide for the sake of peace and friendship when a person has clearly gone wrong and refrain from principled argument because he is an old acquaintance, a fellow townsman, a schoolmate, a close friend, a loved one, an old colleague or old subordinate. Or to touch on the matter lightly instead of going into it thoroughly, so as to keep on good terms. The result is that both the organization and the individual are harmed. This is one type of liberalism. To indulge in irresponsible criticism in private instead of actively putting forward one's suggestions to the organization. To say nothing to the people to their faces, but to gossip behind their backs. Or to say nothing at a meeting, but to gossip afterwards. To show no regard at all for the principles of collective life, but to follow one's own inclination. This is a second type. To let things drift if they do not affect one personally. To say as little as possible while knowing perfectly well what is wrong. To be worldly wise and play safe and seek only to avoid blame. This is a third type. Not to obey orders, but to give pride of place to one's own opinions. To demand special consideration for the organization, but to reject its discipline. This is the fourth type. To indulge in personal attacks, pick quarrels, vent personal spite, or seek revenge instead of entering into an argument and struggling against incorrect views for the sake of unity or progress, or getting the work done properly. This is the fifth type. To hear incorrect views without rebutting them, and even to hear counter-revolutionary remarks without reporting them, but instead to take them calmly as if nothing had happened. This is the sixth type. To be among the masses and to fail to conduct propaganda and agitation, or speak at meetings, or conduct investigations and inquiries among them, and instead to be indifferent to them and show no concern for their well-being, forgetting that one is a communist and behaving as if one were an ordinary non-communist. This is the seventh type. To see someone harming the interests of the masses and yet not feel indignant or dissuade or stop him or reason with him, but to allow him to continue. This is the eighth type. To work half-heartedly without a definite plan or direction. To work perfunctorily and muddle along. So long as one remains a monk, one goes on toiling the bell. This is the ninth type. To regard oneself as having rendered great service to the revolution, to pride oneself on being a veteran, to disdain minor assignments while being quite unequal to major tasks, to be slipshod in work and slack in study. This is the 10th type. To be aware of one's own mistakes and yet make no attempt to correct them, taking a liberal attitude towards oneself. This is the 11th type. We could name more, but these are the 11 principal types of liberalism and how they manifest. They're all manifestations of liberalism. And liberalism is extremely harmful in a revolutionary collective like Black Hammer. It robs the revolutionary ranks of a compact organization and strict discipline, prevents policies from being carried through, and alienates the party organizations from the masses, which the party leads. It's an extremely bad tendency that a lot of us have been, crushed and had forced into us to learn. Liberalism stems from petty bourgeois selfishness. And for all of y'all who are unfamiliar with what petty bourgeois is, it's the sellouts in your neighborhood. The people who don't care about the hood no more, they left it, they think they're too good for it. That's the petty bourgeois. It places personal interests first and the interests of the revolution second. And then this gives rise to ideological, political, and organizational liberalism. People who are liberals look upon the principles of Marxism as abstract dogma. They approve of Marxism or anti-colonial communism, but are not prepared to practice it in full. They're not prepared to replace their liberalism by, I wouldn't say Marxism, but anti-colonial communism. These people have their Marxism, but they have their liberalism as well. They talk Marxism, but practice liberalism, then apply Marxism to others, but liberalism to themselves. They keep both kinds of goods in stock and use and find a use for each. This is how the minds of certain people work. Liberalism is a manifestation of opportunism and conflicts fundamentally with y'all's liberation. Thinking only about yourself and only having concern about yourself is in conflict with everyone's liberation. It is a negative and objectively has the effect of helping the enemy. That is why the enemy welcomes it in preservation in our midst. Such being its nature, there should be no place for it in the ranks of our revolution. We must use Marxism or anti-colonial communism for Black Hammer, which is positive in spirit, to overcome liberalism, which is negative. A communist should have largeness of mind, and he should be staunch and active, looking upon the interests of the revolution as his very life and subordinating his personal interests to those of the revolution. Always and everywhere, he should adhere to the principle and wage a tireless struggle against all incorrect ideas and actions, so as to consolidate the collective life of the party, ties between the party and the masses. He should be more concerned about the party and the masses than about any private person, and more concerned about others than about himself. Only thus can you be considered a communist. All loyal, honest, active, and upright communists must unite to oppose the liberal tendencies shown by certain people among us and set them on the right path. And this is one of our tasks on our ideological front. So, comrades, I want you all to now consider this again. How has liberalism manifested in your friendships, in your relationships, either with a lover, with your family, with friends, with wherever? Where has liberalism manifested? And I hope you're starting to understand and see how you're robbing yourself, your own dictatorship, by letting liberalism spread within you. Because liberalism, as Mao laid out, only helps the enemy. It only helps the enemy. And so it's welcomed. This selfishness and inconsideration that many of us unfortunately have, the enemy wants it to stay there. We can't advance past that if it's still in our ranks. So there's a few questions I want y'all to sit on and write down. And then I'm going to open it up for the political education in a moment. But for everyone, please take out your pen and paper. I want you to think about these 4 questions here. Do I let things slide for the sake of peace in any instance? Do I let those around me say harmful things without action? Do I touch on matters lightly and take all I learn at face value without investigation? And are you aware of your contradictions and not bother to overturn them? So I'm gonna give us all 30 seconds to go ahead and just write this down and be honest with yourself. Be honest about where you are at in this understanding. So got this timer going. I'm gonna give us 30 seconds and then open it up for the political education. Please drop an X in the chat. We're only going to hear from 3 people. So please drop your X's right now. And then we'll move on to our second portion, land back. All right. Also, I would love to hear from a new comrade or a new person who's shown up, just seeing what's up. I want to know what you think as well. This is also for you. Okay. Anyone have the second question? Yeah, the second question, Coach Kamal, is do I let those around me say harmful things without action? All right. So I'm just going to give it 2 more seconds. Any other new people want to drop their X in real quick? I'd love to hear from you specifically. All right, let's go ahead and start with Chief Jucha. What are you thinking? Land back.
Land back, can I be heard? All right, so really I just wanted to unite with PE and really just unite with this understanding, right, that revolutionary consent is essential to creating a world where nobody lives at the expense of another. Right, and understanding too that when Chairman Mao was speaking or was, writing this PE, is that they were really trying to build not only a revolution, a communist revolution in China, but what they were doing is they were trying to attack colonial understandings of relationships. They were trying to be they were an anti-colonial revolutionary because what they were doing is they were neglecting the ways of the way that the colonizers, views relationships or culture or whatever, and really just understanding that here at Black Hammer, using criticism and self-criticism is one of the most important ways that we can combat these forms of liberalism and create this world where nobody lives at the expense of another, and move past this understanding of relationships, of liberal relationships that the colony has indoctrinated us into believing, and creating a new form of being with each other, with the earth, of just with living things, just struggling to create that society that we all know that we have to see in order to survive as earthlings. Land back.
Land back. Thank you for that. Full unity, Chief Jucha. Absolutely correct. And it's great. I love this political education because it's relevant to pretty much any portion of your life. Next, we will have, let's see, Chief Sa. Let us know what you're thinking. I'm back.
Land back. I really appreciate delving into on liberalism in the context of revolutionary consent, and for 2, 3, 4, I feel like I'm good at those, not naturally, but because this organization has given me the opportunity to grow in them and constantly struggle for them within the organization and within the work of the revolution. But for me, it's romantic stuff. I'm really bad with question 1 on romantic stuff. And in the context of this PE, looking at that, I think it's because not the colony teaches you that it's more comfortable for you to not know where you stand, right? That it's bad if you want to figure out exactly where you stand because it might not be what you like, and then you have to deal with that. So instead you should hide and cover up and lie with half truths and stuff and let people, let things drift, toll on perfunctorily, take pride in your own opinions, know someone is wrong and not say anything about it, not address it because the person is your friend, be aware of your mistakes and not fix them. And all of those things are things that the colony teaches you, and it teaches you that because the colony presents no way forward. That's the difference between, you know, a revolutionary organization and just liberal BS on the colony. It wants to cover up and hide and lie, because why bother knowing where you stand if there's no way forward for it? Whereas in the revolution, we have to know where we stand, because we understand, once we understand the contradiction, we're gonna overturn it. If there's no push to overturn it, there's no reason to know where you stand. And that to me is the biggest difference between, you know, the colony and then the revolution. I love the part 2 of the PE that talks about liberalism, and how some people will practice liberalism over here and revolutionary discipline over here, like it's 50-50. I think that ties in beautifully with the maintain your character policy that we're about to read, because the maintain your character policy like lays out that you are a revolutionary always, beholden to the 4 principles of this organization always. It doesn't end when you log off the Zoom and then go to be with your partner or your friend or your, you know, or whatever. Like, it is always that, and you have to hold yourself to that standard always. And like, honestly, like a lot of times you have to divest of colonial relationships if you want to do that, and either divest of them to rebuild them in a revolutionary way, or just be like, yo, like, as much as I love you subjectively, like, you're too caught up in the colony and I can't let anyone hold me back from the revolutionary that I need to be for my people. So I definitely unite with this PE. Land back.
Land back. Thank you for that vulnerability, Chief Sun, letting us know how you struggle with that. Yeah, it's really important too that you are honest with your partners about it, and like not to let things slide for the sake of peace, because you're both lying to each other. Someone's doing something that you're not liking and you're saying it's fine, and the person is doing it thinking that they understand you like whatever they're doing. It robs you both of your ability to self-determine. And next we'll go to our last X from Comrade Jackie. Tell us what you're thinking. And back.
There we go. All right, unmuted. Say, I'm new. This is my first rally. And say the only thing I really stuck out to me was the fact that, like, do I touch on matters too lightly? And I feel like a lot of us, with the whole switching between, you know, a liberal take on our lives and a revolutionary take on, you know, politics, a lot of us have to decide when we're going to stop. Like during the journey of, you know, of being a revolutionary, a lot of us say, well, when do I stop being a revolutionary? When can I do the thing that I thought was fun when I was, you know, still mentally colonized? And honestly, a lot of it is after the fact. A lot of it is I did something that was wrong. I did something that I knew I shouldn't have done. And then how do I move forward from that? How do I recognize that as something that is a contradiction within myself, and then change that for the next time? Not necessarily winning, but mitigating losses.
Yes, absolutely, comrade. Unity with what you just laid out as well. Yeah, I think for, you know, the third question, do I touch on matters lightly and take all I learn at face value, again, does not give you full information. And as dialectical materialists, we understand we need to have a good understanding of the entire situation before we can actually know the trajectory of the way forward. And so if you're just being presented information and, you know, you're not bothering to investigate, you're also doing yourself a disservice and not really consenting to the future of whatever is being told to you, because you don't have all of the information yet. So how can you actually make an informed decision on that? So really want to appreciate what you just said, Comrade Jackie. All right, so next.
I'm back. Oop, looks like we have a little bit of some technical contradictions with SG's internet. Y'all know how the internet be. If you believe in we got
political education.
Land back. SG, we got some technical contradictions, but it's okay because we're gonna get right back to this workshop as soon as they figure it out. I know some of y'all are already feeling the feels of what it is to learn what revolutionary consent is. It's a lot of unlearning that we have to do. And up next, they're going to get into our maintain your character policy, which was written by our wonderful chief of cyber recruitment, Chief Ade, where she lays out exactly what it means to be a hammer, exactly what it means to be an anti-colonial revolutionary that practices, being a person whose character is of love for the earth, of love for the children, of love for yourself, right? And of love for all of your other comrades.
Yeah.
All right, SG. We are going to get into this, and it's going to be amazing. Looks like they're continuing to have technical contradictions.
Can I be?
It's okay, everybody. Go ahead and just keep writing down your thoughts about what it means to be processing this information, okay? Go through those questions in your head. Go ahead and continuing just jotting down all the emotions and all the feelings that are coming up. And
Hey,
land back, SG.
Land back. Sorry, I just had to hop on my phone. Sorry, I just getting my Wi-Fi situated today. So self-critical for that. Can y'all see me all right? That's fine. Okay. So self-critical for the technical difficulty, but I just want to start diving into the maintain your character policy. So this was beautifully written by Chief Ade. And it was written as a way for us to understand how we have to uphold ourselves as revolutionaries. There's a certain standard. And unfortunately, a lot of us have learned about revolutionaries and then have found a very unpleasant history to them. Whether they started cheating, they abused someone, they raped someone, it tarnishes the legacy of how we understand them as a revolutionary. And we decided we didn't want that in our organization, in the Black Hammer organization. And so we have a maintain your character policy. And this is for all of you new comrades, this is the standard that we uphold all of our comrades to the highest degree, to the highest level. So anything further, let me go ahead and start with this. So let there never be a day where the character of a hammer is called into question. Let our love for the people be expressed in our willingness to self-criticize and improve for them. Let there never be a day where the children of Hammer City reflect in anger, sadness, or disgust about a hammer, for the character we maintain will leave our legacies untarnished. Let our victory be hard won through our defeat of the colonists in our heads who poisoned our hearts and minds. Let the revolution free us and let our characters maintain that freedom. Next slide, please. This is the expectation. When operating as a hammer, it is the expectation of the organization that one conducts themselves as a revolutionary at all times. As servants to the colonized people, we must always give our people forthright honesty in all interactions, from outreach to interpersonal ones. We must be who they say they are, a revolutionary, 24/7. Our revolutionary character extends to all levels of the interpersonal, meaning a consistency that lasts past our meeting's end. So on nature, hammers hold the land to the same regard as those who steward it. Globally, our calling card is the compassion and respect we show for all living things, including the earth. Littering, dumping, waste in waterways, and overuse of the resources the earth provides are sicknesses taught by the colonizer. As hammers, our love for the earth and fight for its freedom begins with our treatment of it. From hunting to plant cultivation, we unite with colonized people's non-abusive relationships with the land and reject the rape and exploitation the colonizer engages in. Next slide, please. On animals, unlike the colony, never believed man to be the dominating force of the planet, but a component of it. Any domestic animal living with a hammer has a guarantee of dignity, safety, and love for its entire life. The colony has taught us that animals, domestic and otherwise, exist to be dominated by man. Hammers, however, seek to restore the balance we experienced before colonization. Within our borders, there will be no factory farming. Animals will live and die with dignity, and their entire body will be used so as not to make their loss in vain. Next slide, please. Colonial relationships with animals are often wasteful and impermanent. We reject this in favor of our traditional hunting and animal preparation. Much like the Egyptians of the Nile who respected the hippo for the balance they provide, so do we accept and respect all creatures also surviving under colonial rule, provide balance, and have a right to exist. We recognize the delicacy of our ecosystem as one dependent not on our ability to control it, but our ability to live in constant harmony with the world around us. On friendship and romance, and any other personal endeavors of any sort, Hammers remain honest and straightforward with their intentions, no matter how they change. There is a radical nature to honesty when the colony has taught us to prefer the satisfaction of a white lie. The colony loves secrets. We understand honesty to not only be a matter of one's character, but one of consent for all parties. As a rule, we avoid behaviors we feel compelled to hide or lie about to others in favor of open communication and mutual problem solving. The colony lies, teaching that you turning to the collective is weakness. Next, please. We know as we build a world guaranteeing this freedom and interaction, we must push through this fear of weakness to show our true strength, the power of the collective. Failure to do so as a hammer contradicts with our first principle of unity, denying all parties involved control over this aspect of their lives, denying other colonized people a chance to make a choice with full disclosure is violent, individualistic, and taught by the colony. Hammers reject all that the colony has given to them and guarantee a new way forward for ourselves and our people. Next slide, please. On stealing, we see daily that colonial contradictions keeping our people at arm's length from the things they need to survive. As historical dialectical materialists, we see the business owner class who emerged in colonized communities as fundamentally different from their white counterparts. Our businesses, colonized businesses, provided housing when the state made it illegal for us to own property, provided safe spaces for children while their parents worked, offered legal work for those plagued by ongoing state violence via parole, and so much more. As such, we uplift the colonized community on all forms we choose to survive. Hammers never steal from colonized businesses or colonized people generally. In maintaining our character, we rid ourselves of the colonial standard of indecency and selfishness. Our barbers, braiders, poppy stores, store owners, and taxi drivers all need us to be an example of colonized excellence through our actions at all times. When we steal from our own, we strip them from their ability to survive under the colony for temporary gain. Because we are fighting to eliminate the colony entirely, Hammers cannot now or ever support the colony in harming our communities. We are stolen only to Black Hammer's political line. Next slide, please. Ooh, thank you. On child rearing Hammers, so this is for you who have children watching this. On child rearing Hammers, you have three key responsibilities to the child, their family, and the communities. So to start off with a quote, only a fool would let their enemy teach their children. It is our duty to teach and uphold our fourth principle of unity within the child's life. Maintaining an anti-colonial education is key to raising young Hammers to recognize and eliminate the colonial mindset once and for all. The lies they teach our children to spew are akin to national self-flagellation. As such, it is our responsibility to them and our communities to continue to raise them along the correct path, and that of colonized unity and liberation. To never intentionally harm, scare, or abuse colonized children. The colony in its early violence left vestiges within our communities that we adopted to keep ourselves safe. One of which is the lingering need to beat, quote, spanking or popping, or otherwise corporally punish our children into submission. This extends into emotional and verbal abuse, all with the same root cause and intended goal: protection. The colony taught us that to protect children from the unspeakable violence they face for developmentally appropriate behavior, we must control them with a strictness and discipline adults often don't face. Hammer children are guaranteed a childhood free from the traumas of this horizontal colonial violence. Hammers are patient as children develop in their own time. They are allowed freedom of expression and curiosity in play and learning. They delight in their children's triumphs and do not balk at their falters. In actively unlearning colonial domination, we give an opportunity to heal ourselves and raise emotionally healthy, happy children. Next slide, please. And third and final, to comfort them through all stages of life. Historically, the colony has taught individualism in all things, including comforting, or the lack thereof, of children. The dispassionate approach posits that self-soothing teaches children instead of the reality of them maintaining their stress levels and learning to stay silent. Hammers know the best way to overturn an issue is to lean into the collective. As such, we teach and hold space for our children to do the same. We understand that children are just small people and that the world around them, especially under colonial rule, is overwhelming. Hammers show unwavering compassion, patience, and understanding to even the youngest colonized people because their healthy emotional development is paramount. Next slide, please. So I just want to pause there for that political education. And I hope all of y'all were really hearing that this is how we absolutely have to conduct ourselves as revolutionaries. There is no alternative to behavior within this organization. This is who we are as people and how we want to build the world under these guiding principles, under this policy, to end abuse, to make sure things are communicated about, and that consent is understood always. There is no reason for us to continue to harm each other and to take the side of the colony by not addressing how we have learned these harmful behaviors. And so, with that being said, I just want to open it up. So please drop an X in the chat if you would like to speak or comment on this policy. Have y'all ever seen anything like this? Or, have you come from other organizations that didn't have something like this? And would it have helped? Is that I really want to hear from all of you on this policy as it relates to consent as well. So please drop an X in the chat to comment on this political education. We're going to take 3 X's and then we'll continue on to the other portion of this workshop. So first, we're going to start with Comrade Don and Shorn and back.
I'm back. Can everyone hear me? All right, thank you. So yeah, so just like in other organizations, like in my experience, with other people that I used to organize with, the maintain your character policy, like would have been like failed on like all throughout really like my time organizing with them for years until I found Black Hammer. And it was just like, it was the more obvious things too that like colonizers refused to really like address or really. So I'm sorry, I should speak in an example, but what I mean exactly is like, I would be with colonizers in their organizations, trying to get this political education for myself and teach it to other people. And then I realized that they have children who they have not politicized any of this to. And not even just children, but children who had later grown up into adults who had never been politicized, anything about like dialectical materialism. And I thought that that was really liberal and I couldn't understand. And they all generally kept repeating the same line of just, they felt like it was the right thing to do to let their children experience life and draw their own conclusions. And that's how they presented it. But in reality, when you refuse to politicize, what colonialism is, what capitalism is, what the system is to your children, what you're actually doing, even if you're trying to just like let them experience life like independently, well, what you're actually doing is you're giving them to the colonizer. You're giving their minds to the colonizer for them to form and shape into how they want to see it. And I just always thought that it was really like repugnant, because it was like, these are people who are leading like these organizations who I had like, you know, tried like for years to organize with and to like build. And then I realized that it's just, they're not interested in actually overturning the contradiction, because they're letting, you know, they're letting things slide on their personal lives. They're not the revolutionary that they say they are 24/7. They're only a revolutionary when they sit down at their desk at like a plenum for like the community or something that they say that they're serving. But in reality, it's just behind closed doors. These maintain your character policies would probably have gotten most of them kicked out of an organization if it had been upheld in the first place. So I really appreciate this organization for just having these in general. And I'm just learning more and more every day through everyone else's example and internalizing this. So Lambak, I hope that that was coherent, but I'm gonna pass it on. Lambak.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Comrade Shorn. And yeah, I just also wanted to say, children are not dumb. You can explain colonialism to them in a way that they will understand. And not doing so robs them of actually understanding how the world works, and it sets them up for a very rude awakening instead of prepping them how to navigate life. Thank you for that, Comrade Don. Next is we got the People's Artist. Go ahead and tell us what you're thinking. Lambak.
Hi, everyone. This is my, can you all hear me? I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes.
So this is my first time ever attending one of these or even being involved with Hammer at all. It's very quick turnaround from today. So hello, everyone. I just wanted to say, you asked the question about if you had heard like kind of any of these ideologies before, and like where I specifically heard like the rhetoric basically about abusing children was in the Justice chapter of Bell Hooks' All About Love, which I think is really just ironic that, you know, we're talking about like revolutionary consent, and like she spends the entire chapter of Justice specifically talking about like beating children and like what that says to them as far as their own growth. Like a lot of the things that were just touched on by person who just spoke before me. I do agree about Bell Hooks being too liberal, but like I said, this is new for me. I'm learning all the things. So thank you for inviting me into this space. But as the question asked, that was the first place that I heard through all these things here. But yes, I just wanted to agree with that. I think it's a great place to start as far as like community building within the organization. Starting at a simple place of just not hitting a child, which seems crazy that that is such a revolutionary idea. So, but that was all. I just want to say that's where I was first introduced to that. So.
And well, welcome and thank you for joining us. And right, you know, it's crazy that it is a revolutionary act to not hit a child, but with like such amounts of colonial indoctrination, it is a revolutionary act to then say, no, absolutely not. I'm going to treat my child with dignity and patience. But I'm really excited that you're here. Welcome. Keep listening in, and hopefully we're going to see you next week. We'll move on to our next X, Comrade Jackie. Tell us what you're thinking. And back.
All right. I'd say I'd just start by saying I'm sorry I didn't listen more, and because I was sitting here writing. But everybody else definitely gave me more things that I wanted to talk about. I just thought it was like a lot of people are revolutionary until it comes to certain aspects. Like they don't realize that when we say it's everything, it carry your character with you. It's everything. It's what you think, to the music you listen to how you treat the people around you. Like everybody's a revolutionary until it comes to their favorite song. Like honest, I grew up listening to rap. I grew up listening to like Jay-Z and Nas and like Big Pun, New York rappers that just only talk about getting money and hurting people for money and stuff like that. And it was a very hard change to just start listening to anything else. Everything is a colonial ideal unless it doesn't have words. And then even then, sometimes the feelings are there. But it comes to like, everybody's a revolutionary until it comes to like letting their kids watch TV and they're too young, or eating the poison that they feed us every day out of convenience. Everybody's a revolutionary until it comes to a person of that they're attracted to and how they're going to treat that person in order to get them to be attracted to them, or until their dog pisses them off and they go off on that, or just really, really everything that comes in life. And I know it's like life would be incomplete if we didn't have things that we missed about our personality, but it's just it's everything. It's everything. That's just all I guess I was trying to say.
Land back. Full unity with what you just laid out. And it's important for us to be revolutionaries at all moments. Is, like I said before, it's absolutely devastating when you're reading the history of a revolutionary or a leader that you really looked up to and find out like they were actually a really horrendous human being, and a lot of the things that they were doing was a bit performative. We do have an X in the chat from Chief Maya that I do want to get really quickly. Land back.
Land back. Yeah, I just wanted to hop on really quickly to say that I'm self-critical to the new comrade who talked about being introduced to these concepts through Bell Hooks, All About Love, because I did say that she was too liberal and I wasn't being, I guess, compassionate or aware of where they were in their political journey. And if that came off as, being on a higher plane, I honestly did not mean it that way. And I'm, extremely self-critical. And I hope, you don't take it that way. And your comment was very brilliant, comrade. Land back.
Land back. Thank you for that, Chief Maya, and being self-critical. And, I think this is a good moment for us to understand too, like everyone didn't get, no, and not everyone was born understanding every single thing. And, when you want to struggle, we have to raise that principally. And how you raised that earlier of just kind of putting in a comment was, unprincipled as well. I did see that Aurora had an X in the chat, but we're trying to stay on time. I wanted to get Chief Maya for their self-criticism, but next time, Chief Aurora or Comrade Aurora, would love to hear from you. So the next part of this workshop is talking about self-consent, which is a newer concept for a lot of people. And I don't think a lot of colonized people realize that they struggle with this specifically of self-consent. But self-consent at its heart is about treating your needs, desires, and limits with consideration and patience. It's about being curious about yourself and making choices that express your authentic self. That means understanding your own body's sense of yes and no, and our own desires, needs, and limits. Unfortunately, because colonialism has dominated all portions of our life, it's really difficult for us to actually understand, what do we want? And when do I want that? Do I like this and do I not? Does this hurt me? Does this help me? There's often a big sense of confusion with a lot of colonized people around your own desires, around what you want yourself. And it's important to take some time to reflect. Do I strip myself of having fun? Do I strip myself of having experiences? And do I engage in guilt? Do I guilt myself for chasing after my own desires and what I need? And often the answer is going to be yes. And so everyone experiences emotions differently, and they transmit differently across their bodies. And learning to listen to what your body tells you will lead you to permit yourself to feel and do things that will lead to self-determination. And so what I mean by that is your body's going to tell you, even if you consciously do not know what you want yet, your body does and can help guide you to understand that and feel that. If you're being asked something, it's kind of making you feel gross. Notice that and respect that feeling, and respect yourself enough not to push it to the side or to ignore it. Is that it's a good way to then reconnect with yourself, your own heart, your own mind, and actually go after your desires. Our bodies tell us yes and no all the time, whether it be food you like or smells you hate. Your body will tell you its limits. And as servants to and members of the colonized masses, it is a revolutionary act to understand your limits and boundaries and to healthily communicate them, and as the colony has robbed us of that. And so I just want y'all to take another 30 seconds and write down ways you think you rob yourself of self-consent, that you don't give yourself consent to have fun, that you don't give yourself consent to enjoy yourself, or that you force yourself to work really, really hard. And understand, why is that? Where does that come from? I must say it comes from the colony, but your own personal experience of your life has informed that. Take some time to write that down now. What have you been saying no to yourself or saying yes to incorrectly? Because again, understanding these things will give you the basis of moving forward. Now you know, this is who I am, this is who I want, and this is what I desire. All right. So I just want to open it up real quick. Does anyone have any questions about self-consent? Is anyone confused about self-consent? It is new. It's a newer concept for me to understand and practice, and I'm sure it is for some other people. So if anyone has any questions about it, please drop an X in the chat real quick. And if not, we can keep it moving. Okay. All right. Going once, going twice. All right. Let's go ahead and move it to the next part of this workshop, which is sexual consent. So this is probably one of the most popular forms of consent that we've all learned about, but it still is often incredibly incorrect because it was given to us in a liberal manner and not a materialist or actually like revolutionary way. So I first want to say, we are going to be talking about sex for a moment. And all of us are adults and need to be able to have honest conversations about sex and not to feel ashamed about it. That's the colony and this like weird Victorian prude, like, oh, don't show your ankle kind of residual part of society that we need to push away because it results in harm. It results in abuse, shame, it results in guilt. And no colonized person has to feel that. And so with that being said, consent is not a forever contract. Consent is not a contractual. Consent is a fluid understanding between two communicating people or multiple people. A partner's yes is not a technicality, a point that you arrive at before we tune them out and then just get it on with whoever or whomever. That consent is fluid and it can change at any moment. It can be yes when you first ask, but it can be no later on. And if you look at consent as a contract, it means you also understand sex as a commodity. That then means you see a person as an object, and that object just lets you sign on a dotted line and you get to have your way. And that's untrue. That is wrong. That is rape and abusive. And so whether it is planned with the love of your life or unplanned with a stranger over a long period of time or on short notice, whether you pay for it or whether you've met online, or if it's 10 minutes or 10 consecutive days, there is nothing wrong with having sex as long as you keep your agreements. And this is important where you need to have a good, solid understanding of self-consent. Because if you do not know what you want, you cannot in good faith consent to anyone's sexual act because you do not understand yet. And it is a betrayal of that person who is asking for sex and knows you do not know what you want and moves forward with it. That is wrong. That is taking advantage of someone's confusion and has no room within a revolutionary space. And with that being said, we also cannot collude in the colonial culture of jokes and stigma against anyone who has or too little sex. And who are you to decide if that is true? And if on that too. We'll not engage in jokes with people having too many or too few partners, or having the wrong kind of sex with the wrong kind of person. That is also not for you to determine. And that when you raise those kinds of things to people, you're violating the consent they gave. You are now trying to dictate another person's life and how they will live it. And that is also wrong and nowhere belongs within a revolution. That's a dead and leftover residual part of colonial society. And if we are truly to stick to our word of building a dual contending power, it means we need to build a new way of communication, a new way to love each other, a new way to experience each other. Next slide, please. And finally, and again, like I said before, we will not shame people for loving sex or not having sex and not liking it. When we frame sex, and we need to frame sex as an open-ended experience, it stops being a commodity. And I know every one of us in here, unfortunately, have had an experience with sex where we have felt used, abused, dirty, guilty, ashamed. And that's because there is a colonial construct that sex is a commodity. The colonizer, the capitalist, commodified sex on purpose. And then they taught it to us to understand and replicate the system of it being a commodity. They taught us that if you have too much sex, or if you do it before marriage, or if you do this or you do that, you're damaged goods. And it puts you in a position of shame and guilt. People get killed over this. But when you frame sex as an open-ended experience, it stops being a commodity. And having sex then doesn't damage your goods because there's no goods, nothing to take and nothing to give up. Because sex is now an experience, a moment of curiosity to understand another human being or human beings. You then have the moment to experience each other. And so then, if we reframe our understanding of sex as an open-ended experience, we can value, instead, we can then value to be experienced, what it's like to be experienced as a human being. And we can be freer, more free, to experiment, to express ourselves, and to also take calculated risks with your partner, to try something new. And that's also a component of sex that often gets removed because of the colony. And I want to say, within this organization, all of those ills of the colony have no room here. They are violent. They are so violent. And we have to root this out everywhere that we see it. And if we do not, like Mao said, it is liberalism. To let incorrect ideas manifest and not do anything about it is wrong. And like I said, the colonial aspects of how sex has been commodified result in people dying. Women and queer people, men and children, everyone get murdered for this, raped over this. Millions and millions of people, comrades. And we cannot have any sort of replication of that within a revolutionary, anti-colonial communist organization at all. And so, is there another slide? I think that's it, right? No more. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna just wrap it up and say, we have a way forward within this organization on how we're going to tackle this. Is that as revolutionaries in this organization, you are held to a higher standard than the people who are outside of a revolutionary organization, because you are the vanguard of the people. You lead the forefront of it. So you lead by example at all times. And so our Minister of Defense, Sundiata, is going to introduce a forum that we have for revolutionaries to discuss the relationships that they want to have. Because I want to say, if you want to be in a relationship with someone, you should be able to write it down with pride, even if it is just for a hookup in this organization That is fine. That is your freedom to do so. But what you will not do is use someone. You will not abuse someone. You will not make them feel confused. And because you're a revolutionary, you all got to fill this out to understand what is going on. Give someone the courtesy of clarity. What is this going on? So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass over the time to Minister Sundiata to quickly go over this form and talk about the way forward with it. Land back.
Land back. Thank you, SG, and thank you, everybody else. I think we can all unite and say that this is a beautiful discussion and journey that we're going on in terms of creating this revolutionary consent. And I want to unite with everything that the workshop has laid out. And to be honest, I'm very happy to inform you all that we are approaching this concept of revolutionary consent with the most disciplined and militant strategy possible. And we'll be providing each of you who wishes to engage in one of these relationships with a form to ensure that these subjective relationships are created with organization. Now, if you can practice that subjectivity and those feelings, that romance that y'all want to get into, you need to be able to talk about it and ensure that your boundaries and your dictatorship over your life are being upheld. If you can do the do, then you can stop, you can write it down, and you can sign your name to make sure everybody is on the same page, give us the ability to prevent harm, and give what SG just so brilliantly said, you know, that clarity or that courtesy of clarity within these relationships. So in order to dive further into this, I'm just going to show you all briefly the form as we've got it here. It's very bland right now. I know graphic design is my passion, but the content itself is what is really, really important here. You know, we're engaging as revolutionaries into a subjective relationship, which means that the people have to be at the forefront. So we have to have that transparency and accountability. So starting off, of course, it's very clear here, this is not some legally binding contract that, you know, you sign it and then you have to regret what you signed it with or what the terms were whenever you made the decision. No, this is a form that is organic, that grows with you and your partner and can be renegotiated by the consenting parties at any time, just through contacting our BHO Subjective Relationships Office within the Defense Office and working with a counselor there to get that, you know, set up to what y'all need again. If y'all need to re-up on that contract, you know. Well, of course, we want to name all the names of all parties involved within the organization, as well as their leadership position. We understand how hierarchy plays into this, and it's important for the defense apparatus to ensure that leaders are being held to that standard that we hold leaders to, but that all comrades are being, you know, treated with respect. So after you complete the form and submit it, you'll be able to have a brief phone call, you and your partner, and then someone from the defense office to go over and make sure that everything is final and ensure that you want to proceed with this. And of course, here it lays out as well the type of relationship that you're creating with this form, whether that be monogamous, non-monogamous, long-term, short-term, or maybe just a one-time thing, or even a platonic friendship. Right? Because as SG laid out, it is every aspect of our life that we must learn to practice revolutionary consent, in our friendships especially. And of course, if there is a certain time frame that you would be interested into this relationship for, we ask you to lay it out there so everyone is on the same page. Of course, we want to lay out everybody's name, their position, but then here's where it gets to what I think is the really beautiful part of this process, and that's laying out why you like this individual subjectively or romantically or in a friendship way or in a comrade way, right? Laying out the beautiful things that you see in them that, you know, drives you to want to know them on a deeper level, right? To be that partner with them in whatever capacity, right? So it's really a time to make sure that, you know, you have those reasons, right? You shouldn't be getting into a relationship with someone who you can't name the things you like about them, right? You can't name why you feel a way about them. Right? And then we also want to list our needs, making sure that that's well known, right? What do you need? What is your love language? What are the things that you require from your partner to feel whole, right? Lay that out here, all out in the open so they can know and see if that's within their abilities, right? To make sure that those needs are being met to the best ability. And then of course we have to lay out the opposite, right? The things we absolutely do not want or will not tolerate within our relationship, be it physical, be it language, be it any kind of feeling like that. We want to really lay out exactly what we're getting into and ensure that it can be held accountable for everybody seeing this document, us having it on file, and then finally you sign and agree to it, and you're on your way to fighting for the revolution in a way that is incredibly powerful, incredibly beautiful, and is ultimately going to build a brand new world. So y'all are going to get this form eventually. I know some of you just waiting to get your hands on it to get yourself a little boo. I know it's that season, right? We'll be getting out to your chapter defenders as well as sending it out through a mass email. So you'll be ready to, get linked up. Land back.
Land back. Thank you so much, MOD and Secretary General Anko. That was amazing, y'all. I got my notes right here. And I already feel like a brand new person because I know that I'll be practicing these things. And I'm gonna get that form turned in and bookmark, and I hope all of y'all do the same. So as we've learned today, comrades, we must struggle to not let that liberalism seep within us. We have to have dictatorship over our life. And I think another really important part about consent is allowing and permitting your body the grace of movement, right? To like be present and in tune with your body. So giving us the workout and self-defense announcements for the week, we got our Chief of Defense, Chief of Defense training, so critical Chief EV, land back.
Land back, y'all. It's Chief EV. I represent the colonized nation of Africa, as well as the indigenous people of Turtle Island. And I will be presenting with you today the larger range of workouts and classes that we are offering this day or this week. Land back. So tomorrow, first aid and survival with Coach Rohan at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This will be a review on how to move a comrade when they have received an injury that has rendered them immobile. And it is very important, as we're on our outreaches or even just, in the summer because it's really, really hot. So make sure you check into that. Thursday, strength and endurance with Coach Kamal at 1:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Coach Kamal is saying, your body, your resource. And here is where we take it back and sharpen ourselves to be the best that we can be, so we can be healthy and ready for anything. On Friday, we have outreach training with the Minister of Defense, Sundiata, at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Please keep in mind, this is mandatory before outreach. And in this training, you will receive protocols and guides on how to best conduct yourself during outreach so that you can be safe and efficient and best serve the people. Friday, we have the second lesson of our Bojutsu class with Coach Hanti at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Our last Bojutsu class really showed us how to use our energy to move our instrument without using your full arm and things like that. And it was very, very informative. So make sure you get in there for what we got next. Saturday, you have bat training with yours truly at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Please keep in mind, this is also mandatory before outreach. We have our standard issue bats that we use to protect ourselves during outreach. And I teach you best how to make space and use the bat based on how you move your body and how you're able to defend. Saturday, we have Serene Saturdays with Chief Cola at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. In this class, we sit down with each other and we address lots of the issues that we as colonized people face, like anxiety and depression and defeating the colonizer in your head. So make sure take the time and really get to know each other and really form that unity. Sunday, we have stretching and meditation with Chief Yabe, also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This goes hand in hand with the Serene Saturday class, and it includes focus on meditation, as well as alleviating pain in your body and things like that. So come align those chakras. Monday, we got Wing Chun class with Chief Ahi at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I believe the topic for this week will be parries. So make sure to get in here and learn how to kick some butt. Tuesday, we get our second helping of Strength and Endurance with Coach Kamal at 1:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So don't worry if you missed the last time, because you have another opportunity here to, really, really show your discipline and build yourself up. Oh, and also, we have a monthly opportunity for our hammers to really, really show their discipline and dedication to their health and their bodies and being just a better hammer in that regard with our Sledgehammers initiative. And how that works is every chapter, so for every class, we record the participation as well as attendance. So if you're on camera, if you're being active and things like that. And the chapter who has the most participants will receive water bottles. I believe this is the pink lemonade design. We will have different designs in the future, but this is what we're rocking at the moment. But I think this is really cute. However, the hammers with the highest percentage of active participations will receive the shirt, which is the Aim for the Head design by Chief Gun. It's honestly I really want this shirt, y'all. Not gonna lie. So if you also want this shirt, make sure to get in these workouts and show your discipline. All right, Lamb back.
Man, back. Thank you, Chief Evie, for those announcements. I hope to see y'all at these classes. I know y'all want that shirt and that water bottle. They're real cute, okay? And if you want access and you are not a member, go ahead and join us right now at blackhammer.org/join. All right, now, all hammers know that once you take off your workout shoes, okay, we reach down and we grab our boots to get on the ground and meet the people. So up next, we're gonna hear from our Admiral of the Grounds Committee, Shagun, who's got some exciting info for us about what we got going on the ground. Land back.
Land back, y'all. Land back, land back. Can you hear me, y'all? Good. It is your boy, your girl, your Admiral of Organization on the ground, Shagun in the house. I represent the African nation, and I use whatever pronouns, just like our CIC says. Just don't call me a sellout, please. Land back, y'all. I am so honored to be a part of this revolutionary rally about consent, about really building new relationships across the world. And that's exactly what we are doing worldwide. Me and my office are responsible for leading the development of our comrades and their chapters on the ground, in these streets, in these hoods, in these cities, in these villages and favelas, everywhere our poor and working class colonized masses are found under the boot of colonialism, right? We are ready to move from disorganization to organization, from subjugation to self-determination, right? And we're getting more and more united, disciplined, organized to get our land back and crush white power every single day. I know y'all see us out here in your communities, people watching, right? Passing out masks, postering propaganda, feeding the hungry, clothing the houseless, cleaning the water, right? And winning the people, most importantly, not to charity services, but to getting actively involved, right? In our own liberation, our only salvation. Anti-colonial revolution. It is the solution. God bless. Vanguard teams all day, every day. This week, I am hype to highlight our newest Black Hammer chapter on the east side of the African continent, hitting the ground in the heart of the neo-colonial state of Kenya. Yes, you heard it right. We are in Kenya, y'all. We got a poppin' chapter in Kenya led by our very own Chief Omwami, who's in the room and will say a word shortly. But just to say a word myself, Chief Omwami is an incredibly eager, brilliant, and passionate young leader and university student working to organize his fellow classmates to organize the toiling masses of Kenya toward anti-colonial revolution, right? Alongside his comrades, Johan, Mekatilili, Mboya, Mathai, and an ever-growing group of young African cadre, the Kenyan chapter has truly hit the ground running. They have truly burst onto the scene with force joining hands through Black Hammer to protect our people, right, from this ongoing pandemic. The coronavirus is still raging across the world, right, feeding the community who are left to dry by the neo-colonial Kenyan state, right? And most importantly, like I said before, most importantly, politically educating the masses on their own power, capacity, potential, and destiny to topple this global empire and build a new global world, right? With revolutionary consent through and through. Y'all can see these wonderful pictures of our new comrades in action. So salute to y'all's hard work and dedication to serving the people correctly and passionately. We see you, we salute you, and we encourage you to continue our onward march. So I want to pass it to our Kenyan chapter chief, Omwami, to say just a few words about his experience, joining Black Hammer, building on the ground to feature, a Black Hammer Kenya. Lambert, Chief Omwami, you in the room?
Landback comrades, I'm Chief Omwami. Unfortunately, I will not be able to turn on my video due to a blackout that we are experiencing at the moment. I joined the Black Hammer organization because I'm in unity with the struggle for the colonized masses across the globe, and also because of the self-criticism and criticism that I see frequently in the meetings that we normally have with the Black Hammer organization. Building the Kenyan chapter, I can say it is a welcome experience, and I think I'm feeling great trying to set up a revolutionary movement and ensure that our colonized masses are eventually set free. Our hopes for the Kenyan Black Hammer chapter is for us to be able to spread our organization across the entire state, the entire country, and ensure that we have a revolution that will eventually free the colonized masses of the Kenyan people. Also, I'd like to encourage all of those colonized masses of Kenya that are watching to join the Kenyan chapter or join the Black Hammer organization, join at blackhammer.org. Yeah, that is it. Learn back. I'm looking forward to learning more and having a great experience with Black Hammer organization.
Land back. Y'all heard it here first from our very own Chief Omwami. Like I said, so passionate, so brilliant, so eager to build. And that's exactly what they are doing. Only at Black Hammer are we building a truly anti-colonial worldwide revolution, uniting the colonized masses across the colonized world to come together to build new relationships, right? To build new relationships outside of the boundaries of colonial BS, right? And we're doing it every single day. We're building fast, so watch out, y'all. Land back. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off to Chief Through. See you next week.
Land back, thank you so much, Admiral Shegun, and amazing, oh my goodness, salute to Chief Omwami and our Kenya chapter doing a thing. Y'all are our inspiration and materially showing us that we are the Vanguard organization, right? We are, okay? And that we will liberate all colonized people of the world. Go ahead and put hashtag Vanguard Tings in them YouTube comments right now. Okay, and while y'all are doing that, it's now time for us to meet all of our new comrades in the building that are gonna get ready to join this Vanguard organization. And the one who's going to be introducing all of y'all new people for us is our amazing Chief of Cyber Recruitment, Chief Ade. Land back.
Land back is my favorite part of the night, y'all. It's where I get to introduce all of my new hammers, all the first time attendees, and hopefully all my future cadre, okay? So I'm going to teach you all how to introduce yourself like a revolutionary. That's how we do it here at Black Hammer. First of all, you're going to give us your revolutionary name. Don't give us your federal name, your actual name. We don't need that being put out in these internet streets. All right. Number two, you're going to give us your colonized nation. So that is where your ancestors are from. Don't tell us the colonizer nation that you're living in or the colonizer nation that you might have some background in. Nah. Tell us about your colonized nation. And then finally, tell us your pronouns so that we can address you properly. So if you are a new hammer, a first-time attendee, somebody who's just checking out the rally, your friend or family, go ahead and drop an X in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and call you. You will have an opportunity to introduce yourself in that way I just laid out. And then you also have 2 minutes to just tell us what made you join us tonight. All right? So with that being said, go ahead and drop an X in that chat. If it is your first time, I do want to hear from you. We'll give you an opportunity to unmute yourself. All right, Comrade Jackie, land back.
Hi, I'm Comrade Jackie Isidore, and say I represent the people, the colonized peoples of Africa and Borican and Turtle Island. Say mixed bag over here. I am gender fluid, non-binary. You can call me whatever you want. Just, you know, don't call me anything that's outside of something nice, I guess. Be kind. I joined because I really united with the ideals of a global colonized people movement, something that's for the proletariat of the world. And honestly, that's all I've been waiting for. I'm from Kansas. I'm the only one that has, from my knowledge, been from Kansas that's talked to Black Hammer about anything. I probably will end up starting my own chapter and but my biggest hurdle is going to be explaining to Kansans what Marxism is. I've just been waiting for this. This is revolutionary is my life. I would say I'm native. I would say this is everything. My existence is illegal. So honestly, I'm gonna say I've just been waiting for you guys to show up. Let's say that's what I had to say, I guess.
Land back. We are so happy to have you. We're gonna make sure we get you hooked up with all that political education so you don't have to show everybody in your area. For all our future comrades, please don't share your location. We got to keep you safe in these streets, but we're going to get you hooked up with political education so you can show them that colonized brilliance. We don't need to show them all those dusty old crackers. All right, Comrade Puddin', you have the floor, my love.
Hi, sorry. My name is Puddin', or y'all can call me the Womaness. I go by either. I represent the nation of Africa, the Creole people of Louisiana, the Gullah Geechee, and the Seminole Nation of Florida, and finally the Arawak of Jamaica. It's another mixed bag. Basically, well, and also my pronouns are she and them. Either way is fine with me personally. I joined the org because I had my own sort of idea of building a sort of like a community for colonized people. I still intend to do that because I know that this community will be like in Colorado. It's like on the West Coast. And I really want to help build connections. I want to be able to build community throughout the nation and even internationally, like you guys. I also have ideas about like once these communities do like come into full effect, creating trading systems so that way they can be completely like self-sufficient, and that way we don't have to rely on the government or anything at all, period, and we can actually sustain ourselves with one another. And also, I really just want to be in community with other like-minded colonized people. It's just something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm glad that I can finally be a part of that.
Land back. It sounds like you're really excited for Hammer City, comrade. I am so happy that you're here to join us and here to build with us. Like, as you know, like, actually, you might not know, we're building Hammer Cities everywhere. So please don't have any worry or doubt that there's not going to be a Hammer City near you or for colonized people around you. We're building them around the world because we have a whole world to get back. Land back is for all of us. Land back. All right, Comrade Dre.
Land back.
I see it's your second rally, but I want you to introduce yourself at this one. Comrade Dre.
Hi, I'm Comrade Dre. my colonized ancestors are from Africa, so I represent the nation of Africa. I live on Turtle Island. My pronouns are she, they, and I joined because I want to be free and I want all other colonized people to be free.
Land back, full unity with that. I love somebody who's perfectly clear on their convictions, just like a hammer. All right, everybody, please don't be shy. Go ahead and drop your X's in the chat. Up next, it looks like I have Comrade Who. So ready to meet you.
Land back. Can everyone see me? It's everything okay? Okay. Comrade Ho. From Brazil, and my pronouns are he and him. I joined the org because I really wanted to learn more about political and colonized people and you know, the discrimination that we suffer and how colonialism is bad and everything. And I'm really happy to be here with all of you and happy to join this organization and, you know, fight for our liberty and right. Sorry, I'm kind of shy right now, but that's it. Land back.
Land back. No, don't be sorry. You did really, really well. And I'm so happy that you're here with us, comrade. Like, we're really going to build something beautiful with all that colonized brilliance. All right, I will give it one more moment. Do we have any more X's in the chat? Don't be shy, y'all. We do have a space for you. We are super warm here. We want to introduce you, introduce all your brilliance. Land back. I'll give it 2 more Mississippi to introduce any new colonized people who joined us for our rally tonight. Because if not, I do want to move it into our, Comrade Jonah. Comrade Jonah, thank you so much, Chief Dio. I appreciate you.
Hi, my name is Comrade Jonah. I use she, her pronouns. This is my first rally, but I actually joined a few days ago. Yeah, I feel like I've had such this like urge to share and to help and just do something with all of the energy I have from like all of the microaggressions, but also the fellowship I find with other people who have been like oppressed. And I was so glad to find Black Hammer, and I can't wait to just like jump in and help my community and help other communities and just, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Land back. We're so happy to have you, comrade. And real quick, I'm sorry if I missed it. Can you tell us your colonized nations that you represent? Boop, boop.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. Yeah, I represent the colonized nation of Africa.
Land back. We out here. Thank you so much, comrade. Really happy to have you here. All right, do I have any more X's in the chat? I want to give you all an opportunity to introduce yourself. Tell us why you came here tonight. Loving all this colonized brilliance in the room. All right, if not, we can move it into our hammer of the week. I love introducing the hammer of the week. That is the hammer who has pushed as hard as they absolutely could to pull as many VIPs as they could into our rally, getting our people excited about revolution, pulling them to their own liberation. And so without further ado, we have Comrade Hiba. Go Hiba. I'm so proud of you. That's my hunters putting in that work. Every week we do this and we want to really highlight those hammers who are pulling in as many people as they can and showing us that cadre spirit. So salute to you, Comrade Hiba. We love you. All right, y'all. Before I leave you, I am going to leave you with your recruitment tip of the week. And this week, I will remind you to never burn any bridges. I had a lot of success going back through and seeing all the people that I graduated high school with however many years ago, mind your business. Anyway, remembering that all of them are also colonized people who are going through the different strives and troubles we have as adults in this world, this horrible colonized world, reminded me that like they need to be brought to their liberation too. So I went back through my friends list and I hit them all up. Remember, don't limit yourself to the friends that you speak to now. Go back through to those back in your life. All of them need a chance at liberation. All of them want a chance to be free, and all of them could be the next cadre to pull you to your liberation. So get into your friends list and don't be shy. And remember, don't burn any bridges while you're recruiting. Land back, y'all. See you next week.
Land back. Thank you so much, Chief Ade, for that recruitment tip. And salute to Karma Hibba for being our Hammer of the Week. And welcome to all of our new comrades. Thank you for introducing yourselves. And we are so excited to see what each and every single one of you bring to the revolution. So, new comrades, did y'all know that we got a science and technology committee? Yes, we do, because we are the Vanguard organization. They got a bunch of new projects, and I believe we got a really important and exciting update about one of our biggest projects. So we got our Chief of International Science and Technology, Chief Suh, who is going to tell us all about it. Land back.
Man back, thank you so much. Yep, as Chief Drew said, I'm Chief Suh. I represent the Korean nation. I use they, them pronouns. I am the International Chief of Science and Technology. And as many of you who know, who've been here know that one of our biggest projects right now is the water project. After our comrade Chief I's life was taken by the poison water that the state continually pushes into our communities, not just in Missouri or in Flint, Michigan, but worldwide. It's a worldwide colonial contradiction. They take the water, which is the basis, sacred nature, human life giver, and they corrupt it, just like they corrupt everything under colonialism, where we are stripped of dictatorship over our lives, land, labor, and resources. But we are not in the in the business of asking the colonizer for anything, nor are we in the business of endlessly ruminating over the contradictions of colonialism without doing anything to solve them, which is why the SciTech committee, as soon as we understood this contradiction in full, tested the water and figured out that it had trihalomethane, which causes cancer in it, and H. pylori, which is a bacteria found in fecal matter. We got to work building a prototype of a reverse osmosis water filtration system that we can use in our chapters to serve our communities and to give out for free, not only to our members, but to members of the community who are consistently affected by these attacks from colonialism in the name of Chief Eyes and all of the colonized people who have been ripped from this earth by the colonizers' poison. So if we can go ahead and pull it up, I'm super excited today to present to you the progress we have made on the prototype for the first Black
Part 2, y'all, is your book Enthusiasm representing the African nation. Today, I'll be showing you our water filter prototype. We hooked up the first 3 stages using polyethylene tubing and adapters. Next, we wanted a structure to hold all our housings. We used cardboard and wood to build the structure. We probably want to upgrade it to plastic later. We wouldn't want the cardboard to get too wet. Here's what it looks like with all our houses in. You can see how the RO filter and the carbon filter fit neatly to the side. Next is the storage tank. Using silicone sealant and hex nipples, we were able to attach inputs for air and water and a pressure gauge. The goal is to pressurize it to 7 pounds per square inch with no air escaping. While we wait for the sealant to harden, watch out for part 3. Clean water is a right. If you want to help bring science back to the masses, hit us up at bho@scitech@protonmail.com.
Land back. Can I get some salutes for our water team in the comments? That is Chief May, Chief Kathunson, and Comrade Rohan. This is an example of what colonized brilliance and scientific passion can do for the masses when we abandon the colony and use it to serve our people and to usher in a world where no one lives at the expense of another and no one is murdered by the colonizer pushing poison into our water. This is a real material show of what we are able to do when we unite with our 4th principle of unity, see ourselves as leaders in our community and leaders of the colonized masses, and use everything we have to serve them. Also, a special shout out to Sergeant Bear, who has donated the SciTech committee a 3D printer. You saw that Chief Kathunson mentioned that we don't want to use cardboard for that holder. Obviously, it's going to get soggy, it's going to get wet, and it's going to not be what we really need to hold the filters. So we will actually be 3D printing a holder that we can use using that 3D printer that Sergeant Bear has donated. So that's another super exciting thing to look for that's coming out of the SciTech committee. And I just want to take a second to recruit into SciTech committee. I think people, it's such a common thing you hear from colonized kids, right? Like, I want to cure cancer. I want to be an astronaut. Like, I want to be a doctor. But we get so beaten down by this colonial system that it's an aspiration that many of us are forced to give up. You do not need any of the pieces of paper from a colonizer to tell you whether or not you can practice the science that your people have been practicing since the beginning of time. If you want to join science and technology, work on this water project or any of the other projects we have in engineering, biology, web development, IT, chemistry, or any of that, you are not welcome, encourage. We need you. We need your colonized brilliance. And it does not matter if you have any experience or what the colonizer would call a degree or, you know, any of those resume fillers. That is meaningless. What is actually meaningful is your desire to use science to serve your people and get them free. So if you're interested in doing that, please email us at bhlscitech@protonmail.com and we'll get you in here to do some amazing science to serve our people. Land back, rest in power to Chief Eyes, and thank you so much.
Land back, yes, rest in power to Chief Eyes, and salute to the Science and Technology Committee for putting your amazing work in to overturn all of these colonial contradictions, like the water, the dirty water that be coming out of our faucets. It's up to us to make these changes, y'all. And again, if you have a passion for science, if you want to use your skills for the people, go ahead and join SciTech. You do not need a piece of paper from the white man to do it. Okay, and we ain't done yet, y'all. We are not going to end this rally. This is something that we do at every rally. We make sure that all of us are informed about this plague that's going on in the world right now. We have our Chief of International Campaigns, Chief Ina, who's going to leave us with a COVID tip. Land back.
Land back, y'all. My name is Chief Ina, representing the nation of Africa using she, her pronouns, and I am the Chief of the International Office of Campaigns. And our office is focused around saving lives. We have our Natural Events Preparedness Committee around prepping people for natural disasters. And we have the Food Ministry around building our dual contending food system. And today I'm gonna give you a little tip from the Global Health and Infectious Disease Committee and talk a little bit about consent within your quarantine bubble. Now, just to begin, what is a quarantine bubble? A quarantine bubble is anyone you're around without your mask. Anyone you are breaking that protection barrier with, people you live with, who you don't walk around with masks. And it's really, really important when you're adding people into your quarantine bubble, or if you're going into someone else's quarantine bubble, that you get consent to do that. This is a life or death thing, you know, and people are depending on, you know, you being honest about the situation to go into someone's quarantine bubble and keep people safe and alive. So when you're before you enter a quarantine bubble or before you allow someone else to enter your quarantine bubble, you need to ask who else is in your quarantine bubble. Like, who are they around without masks? And what is the risk factor here? Is the person you're trying to enter your quarantine bubble, are they going to the club without a mask? Are they, you know, going to the grocery store maskless? Those are information that you want to know so that you can understand your risk factor. How risky is this? And of course, you want to do regular testing before you enter someone's bubble and before you have them into your bubble. Regular testing is like the one way we know to make sure that we are like staying safe when we have interactions with people, or one of the ways without a mask, without a KN95 mask. And preferably you want that to be a PCR test as well. So this is just really, really important, especially as, you know, this new couple of new variants are out, and the Delta variant is one of them. And, you know, and COVID is ramping back up, that we know how to stay safe when we're interacting with our family and with colonized people. So that is it for the COVID tip. If you are interested in learning more or in helping create these protocols and building a dual contending healthcare system, you can email us at joinbhcampaigns@protonmail.com. And that's it for the COVID tip. Land back.
Land back, Chief Ina. Thank you for that tip. It is so important to be intentional and mindful about how we're moving during this time and with quarantine bubbles, y'all. So keep wearing your masks, keep yourself safe, and keep others safe, okay? Use the resources we are giving out for free, and make sure your friends and your family are good and yourself are good. So many people are without this information, and it's affecting colonized communities the most. So yeah, get in touch with us. There's a hammer in your hood. And yeah, well, we have reached the bottom of our agenda, everyone. We've had an amazing workshop today on revolutionary consent, and it is now time to pass it on off to the Chief of Agitation and Propaganda, Chief Amalicha, who will be adjourning this amazing rally workshop. Land back.
Land back, y'all. I am Chief Amalicha. I'm the Chief of Agitation and Propaganda. I represent the Kalina people of Venezuela, and my pronouns are she, her. And I just want to thank everyone for coming out to this 56th rally on revolutionary consent. And we had so many amazing presenters today who I really want to appreciate. Defense, y'all came through to make sure that our people are staying safe out here on the enters of net, and that they're also staying cool during this hot summer. This drought, y'all, is something serious. And also, social media, just letting you know to share this rally absolutely everywhere. Our people need to know about revolutionary consent, about engaging in healthy relationships, being in unity with their self-determination. So make sure that they get out there and see it. And make sure to also hashtag revolutionary consent on Twitter and what it means to you. And so we'll feature you on our Instagram page once we find out you've hashtagged revolutionary consent. And also, we got hella events coming up. Revolutionary Book Trap every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you're reading up on Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee every single week and coming through with those Read That Backs. And we got SciTech coming with a new show, Critical Mass. Honey, you know I'm coming through. And of course, we building a whole city. No cops, no rent, no Rona, and definitely no colonizers. And guess how much we raised today? Our goal was $1,400. Can I get a drum roll, please? We raised $1,500 today, y'all. We are $69 away from 90,000. 90,000. So who gonna come through with them $69? All right. I want to see at least 10 people donate $6.90 to Cash App Hammer City, Build Hammer City, Cash App Build Hammer City, and Venmo Build Hammer City. Let's see it in the comments. Who gonna donate? I want to see that $6.90 from 10 people. Okay, I see 777, lucky number, but I want to see that $6.90 too. Let's get up to $69. Let us break that $90,000 to make sure our people get their liberation immediately. And also, just a huge salute to Secretary General's office for giving us this workshop, on revolutionary consent. If you've heard of Title IX, you know that in no way does it compare to Black Hammers Maintain Your Character policy. And salute to Chief Ade for writing this policy. This was a much needed policy and presentation to our people to ensure that they are building those healthy revolutionary relationships with their bodies, their minds, nature, animals, children, and the people in your life. And that forum too, make sure you get your boo and your friends and that y'all get on the same page about your relationships. Now, about those defense workouts, I hope y'all getting in there and not paying for Planet Fitness anymore. $50 a month, honey, we colonized, all right? Get your $50 into Build Hammer City Cash App. Also, Grounds, y'all came through this week. I'm so excited to see all these new chapters building across the world. Honey, that's international unity right there. We building in Kenya. Now, who can tell me they got a chapter in Kenya? They got all these chapters in Turtle Island, Pachamama, Africa, everywhere around the world. Black Hammer is international, okay? And new comrades, welcome to the revolution. And make sure you follow Chief Ade's recruitment tip every single week to get your people up into here. In SciTech, building water filters, honey, we are getting the clean water that the colony is never gonna give us, okay? They try to take away this basic necessity from us, but we're gonna take the land back, and that means the water too. And all of our people are definitely gonna get clean water in Hammer City. And of course, we got campaigns with the Rona tip every single week. So make sure that people ain't breaking your bubble, okay? Make sure they're wearing their KN95 masks, all right? Staying 10 feet away, okay? and making sure to follow those guidelines from campaigns. And so to finish it off, I want to thank everyone for being here today. And if you're a member, come join us during our after party, okay? Yes, we get down in Black Hammer, okay? But if you want to find out, get in on these dance parties with music, acting, and dance and everything in these breakout rooms and play some games with your comrades, you better join us at blackhammer.org/join. And again, thank you to everyone. So let's hit that outro. Land back, y'all.
Come join Black Hammer. Come join Black Hammer. Come join Black Hammer.